W.E. O'Neill, the Chicago construction company behind projects such as London House Hotel, the former Children's Memorial Hospital redevelopment, has partnered with St. Paul Church of God in Christ Community Development Ministries and Pastor Kevin Ford to expand its 12-week construction trades apprentice program for underrepresented communities. The program originally launched on the South Side, but with the help of Alderman Walter Burnett Jr., it has now expanded to the city's West Side, with recent area high school graduates working as newly trained apprentices on W.E. O'Neill's Lincoln Common development, the former site of the Children's Memorial in Lincoln Park. We have W.E. O'Neill's president, John Russell. Welcome to the show, Mr. Russell. How are you?
Good morning, Perry. Thanks for speaking with me this morning.
I think this is awesome. What makes you want to do something like this, Mr. Russell?
Well, we've always done a lot of work on the south side of Chicago and the west side of Chicago, and we've always partnered with the aldermen in those communities to put some of the community members to work. But my observation is they were always short-term assignments, and we were limited by the people that lived in the ward that had union cards. Mm-hmm. And now that the construction market is booming in the city of Chicago, we were looking to broaden the net and find more candidates and actually, create something that's more sustainable rather than a 6-week project assignment.
Right, and actually give these people some skills, and then they can move on to journeyman or whatever they need to do to become maybe union members or to just able to work in these fields. Do you see a trend in this, Mr. O'Neill, where, because one of the biggest frustrations for people in the black community, they see all these people working in their communities, and they're sitting there on the sidelines. I can't tell you how many sites I've gone by, whether it's a city construction job or whatever, with the sidewalks or the streets, and not one African American be on that site. That's unacceptable.
Yes, I agree. I mean, we're interested in increasing the number of African Americans in the workforce, and a lot of it is knowledge of how the process works and what it takes to get into the unions. Mm-hmm. And the reason why Pastor Ford's program is so successful is the union leaders, the various construction union leaders, whether it's the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters, they genuinely embrace the candidates that emerge from Pastor Ford's program, because he does one of the best jobs preparing these young men and women to actually pass the entrance exam to get into the union program.
Okay. And see, this is what you can't just walk off the street and think that you're going to be prepared for these type of apprenticeships and these opportunities. And so, because back in the day, probably when you were in school, Mr. O'Neill, you could go to Lane Tech, you could go to CVS, and you could learn these trades and have some knowledge of these, or you have parents or grandparents that worked in the trades that could train you into this. So you really have your work cut out for you. But Pastor Ford, it seems like that he's kind of brought this all together to make it it's transferable more easily to work for such a great construction company like yourself.
Yes. So his program, I liken it to almost a boot camp. It lasts for 12 weeks. He creates the discipline for these young men and women to show up for his program. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
See, that's
12
what I'm
days
talking
straight.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
And then he hires professional teachers to drill the students in math and science so they can get a high score. It's all about getting a good score on the entrance exam in order to get into the union's program.
And these kids are bright. These young men and women are bright. They're just not given the opportunities that other people have given. So far, how many do you think have come through this program so far and now going on the West Side?
So I believe the statistics are that 200 men and women have gone through the program and been placed into U.S. Department of Labor apprenticeship programs.
Oh, that's awesome.
And what's interesting, the real reason I wanted to come on your show today and talk to you, Perry, is we're actually trying to raise the awareness of this program so we can expand it. So we need more candidates. So I hope your listeners can, we can pass on the contact information for Pastor Ford's program.
Oh, absolutely.
Believe it or not, he has the capacity to expand his program, and he's looking for more candidates.
Okay, so the pastor, he's currently on the south side, but he's working with Walter Burnett to expand it on the west side. And we possibly, what I'm hearing from you, Mr. Russell, is that you would like to see this as a citywide or Chicagoland opportunity for all of our residents, right, at some point?
Yeah, yes. His facility, his campus happens to be located on the south side. He's at 4550 South Wabash.
Okay.
However, he will take any candidate from anywhere in the Chicago metro area.
Okay.
He's not exclusive to any certain zip code or ward.
Okay.
And the best way for people to connect with St. Paul Community Development Ministries is to visit their website.
Okay.
And can I give that out?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the website is www.stpaulcdm. That's stpaulcdm.org.
.org. stpaulcdm.org. Are you writing this down, Titus? Write it down. They're going to be calling you forever about this. All right, so this sounds great. And is there any time constraints when they can enroll?
So right now, Pastor Ford runs 1 to 2 programs a year, basically based on lack of candidates and funding. So I believe his next curriculum starts sometime after the first of the year. I believe It's late January or early February, and it'll run for 12 weeks, and then there'll be a little pause to regroup, and then there'll be another class that will probably start sometime in the summer.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is get on the list. Contact St. Paul's, get on the list, and there are requirements. Everybody will have to get familiar with the requirements.
Okay.
You have to be 18 or older. You have to have a high school diploma or a GED, a valid driver's license, and access to a vehicle.
Okay.
Because the thing with construction is the jobs are all over the city.
Oh, that's right.
One week you might be working on the south side. The next week you might be working in a northern suburb. So you have to be able to get around.
All right, so let me ask you this: this is just for my own person. Where are your headquarters for your construction company? Are they in the suburbs or are they in the city?
No, we're in the city. O'Neill is a 93-year-old company. We've always been located in the city of Chicago. We're currently in the West Loop at 1245 West Washington Boulevard.
Well, I hope I get a chance to meet you because we're moving our studios before the end of the year to 800 South Wells, and I'd like to just shake your hand and thank you for doing such a magnanimous
Oh, that'd be
thing.
Great. Love to meet you, Perry.
Yeah, I think this is wonderful because, Mr. O'Neill, you and your family are doing probably just fine, and I just think this is wonderful that you and Pastor Kevin Ford are giving these opportunities to our young adults out here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Great, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today.
All right, then, and I'll take all of your calls when we come back. Stay with us.